Hey everybody, what is up and welcome to Rock Gamer. It's Tuesday night, which means it's time to review this week's DLC, and boy did we see a firestorm of comments over yesterday's announcement that Justin Bieber, One Direction, Elle Goulding would finally make their Rock Band debut. But, you know, it's out now. Let's talk about how good these tracks are. And the first song we're going to talk about is Weezer's new single, Thank God for Girls. We've had a ton of Weezer and Rock Band before, and, you know, this one I wasn't really expecting very much from this track, and the guitar is very skippable, very boring. It's a lot of single notes. It's very slow. There are some sustains thrown in too. I would say you should skip the guitar. The drums I had a lot more fun with. The drums sort of start off with like a disco beat, which is kind of thrown in a couple times throughout the song. And then there's like a standard rock beat. But what they do with the rock beat is they'll throw in like some really fun hits on the snare, as well as some fun fills. And then there's like this beat on the floor time to be playing at the end. It's a pretty easy song on drums, but I still found it enjoyable. I recommend you should buy the drums. The bass is ranked higher in terms of difficulty than the guitar, and there's good reason why. The bass is just much more varied. It's more enjoyable. The only thing I didn't like about the bass is that the ending part is a lot of sustained notes, and that really killed the momentum for me. The bass is mediocre because of that. The harmonies are so much fun. If you guys love singing harmonies, all of this week's songs are terrific on vocals. Let's go into our next song of the week. Song of the week is On My Mind by Elle Goulding, and this one on guitar, it's probably one of the better songs on guitar this week, which is not saying a whole lot. The first minute is like super repetitive. You play the same riff over and over again, and then that riff sort of creeps in towards like the later part of the song. You know, most of it's just like a combination of single notes and some chords. The bridge has so many chords that it just gets really boring and repetitive quickly, and there's a lot of stopping and starting. You'll play a series of notes, stop, playing another series of notes, and repeat. The guitar is mediocre at best. The drums, this is the hardest drum song of the week. I just did not find it fun. I found that it was just like a series of disco notes you play on the hi-hat, and I found it irritating as hell because the speed changes, and I just could not keep up with it. If you're looking for a challenging drum part, buy this song, but for me, I found it was mediocre. The bass, there's no bass for the first 26 measures of the song, and then later on, there's a section where you don't play bass for 16 measures, and it's just the same repetitive riff over and over again. There's sustains and some chords. Overall, skip the song on bass for the week. The only fun instrument was harmonies that I played. The harmonies are so much fun. There's so many different vocal parts you'll be singing. That's pretty much can be said for all the songs this week. Get the song if you're a fan of vocal harmonies or just vocals in general. Our next song is a country song. It's Leave the Night On by Sam Hunt. This is the only song of the week I wasn't really familiar with, and I was astonished to see the song had like 30 million views on YouTube. But the guitar, it's probably the best guitar song of the week. It's very fun. It's on the easier side. There's like a tricky hammer-on pull-off part that sort of like stretches across the entire fretboard like midway through the song. And there's two really short but sweet solos in the song as well. I'd recommend getting this if you want like a fun but simple guitar part. The bass was also really fun. It was varied with some fun hammer-ons. It starts out a bit slow with some boring sustains, but it gets much better. The drums were a lot of fun too. This is definitely an easy full combo. There's a lot of fun little fills on the snare and the toms. It mostly revolves around a very standard rock beat. With, you know, they'll occasionally change the position of the snare when you're playing the hi-hat as well. The vocal harmonies on this were really fun. They were a lot like the Weezer song in that it's like a lot of fast singing parts that, you know, for me, I'd never heard the song, so it took a while for me to get used to it. But overall, fantastic full band song, best song of the week. Let's go into our next song. One Direction, here we are. I'm not afraid to admit it, guys. I do like some of their songs. I was actually disappointed we didn't see Best Song Ever released, but maybe we'll see that down the road. And this song is Drag Me Down. It's one of their newer singles that's out on the radio a lot. And this song on guitar, it's not very good. It's basically play a series of chords, stop, play a series of chords, and repeat. It's very easy, very boring, very skippable on guitar. The drums really surprised me. This was one of the most fun songs of the week along with the country song. It's like mostly, you know, hi-hat notes you're playing with like some really fun open hi-hats and snare. They have some occasional tom hits thrown in as well. I really enjoyed the drums. Definitely recommend them as a buy. The bass guitar is more enjoyable than the regular guitar. It was more varied. It was more enjoyable. It chugs along a bit better. The only thing I didn't like is there's one section where there's like sustain notes for like a good period of time. That one was not as enjoyable. I'd say the bass was mediocre. I love the harmonies on this song. Really fun harmonies. Definite buy. Our next song of the week is Adventure of a Lifetime by Coldplay. I'm a huge Coldplay fan, but I gotta say, we had one Coldplay track pack released way back when Rock Band 3 came out. Their songs don't really transfer over into fun Rock Band gameplay, and this song is really no different. The guitar riff, interestingly enough, the band was trying to go for like a Sweet Child of Mine guitar riff, and this song is no Sweet Child of Mine, I'll tell you that. It's a very repetitive guitar riff that's used widely throughout the song, and then when you're not playing that riff, it's just way too many boring chords and sustains. It's just repeated throughout. Definitely a skip on the guitar. The bass, you basically wait 7 measures at the beginning to play. It's really repetitive because there's 2 main riffs you'll play on bass, and that's about it. There are some sustains at the end that kind of break it up, but overall, the bass is very skippable. The drums, I would say, are pretty average. You play the same disco beat pretty much throughout the entire song. There are a couple sections where you'll be playing some flams, but that's about it. The harmonies are fun on this song. It's probably the weakest harmony song of the week, but it's still really fun on vocals. Definitely check it out if you're a singer. And our last song, I saved the best for last, guys. Justin Bieber, What Do You Mean? And I gotta say, I didn't have much expectation going into this song. The guitar, and the bass play similar in the sense that keys seem like they're charted to both of them in some parts of the song. The guitar is just really a lot of stop and start, and same with the bass. The guitar is not that fun. You play like a series of notes, stop, play another series of notes, and then you have some sustained notes thrown in, as you see here. And it's just not challenging. It's not fun. It's not varied. It's definitely skippable. The drums revolve around 2 beats. There's like a beat which you see where you're playing on the toms, and then there's a beat you see now where you're playing the ride and the snare at the same time. The only variation you'll have is some of them you may be playing the kick pedal as well, and some you may not be. It's a very easy song to full combo. I full comboed it on my first try. Definitely a skippable song on drums. The bass is marginally better than the guitar, but it's still definitely worth skipping this week. You know, there's you basically, it starts out with a bunch of sustains, and those sustains sort of come up later throughout the song, and then there's some single notes thrown into. It's just very forgettable. The vocals are much better. The first half of the song is not that fun on the harmonies. There's not a whole lot of harmonies to sing, but as you get further into the song, it gets a lot more enjoyable. So I'd recommend the song on vocals. That does it for this week, guys. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more Rock Band videos.